Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're talking about 3 super rare coins that could be worth a lot more than you think. If you've ever wondered if your pocket change could make you rich, stick around as we check out the 2004 Wisconsin quarter, 2005 Buffalo nickel, and 2021 Delaware quarter. Let's talk about the 2004 Wisconsin state quarter. This quarter was released as part of a project called the 50 State Quarters program. The idea behind this project was to make a special quarter for each state in the U.S. to celebrate the unique things about each state. For Wisconsin, the quarter shows a cow and some farmland, which is perfect because Wisconsin is famous for its dairy products, especially cheese. Now, this coin might look like any other quarter, but there's a special reason why some of these quarters are worth a lot of money. The reason comes down to a mistake that happened during the minting process. Most of the 2004 Wisconsin state quarters look just like they should, but some of them have a rare error that makes them super valuable. What's the mistake? Well, if you look closely at the design, you'll see that there's a leaf next to the cow. That's normal for the coin. But on some of the quarters, there's a leaf that's lower than it should be. This is called the drooping leaf error. So how did this mistake happen? When the U.S. Mint makes coins, they use a tool called a die to stamp the design onto the coin. Sometimes, parts of the die break off, and this can cause the design to be wrong. In this case, a small piece of the die broke off, causing the leaf to appear lower on the coin than it was supposed to. Instead of the leaf being in its usual place, it droops down next to the cow. Now, let's talk about how much these coins can actually be worth. The drooping leaf error makes this quarter really special. While a regular 2004 Wisconsin state quarter is only worth 25 cents, the rare coins with this error can sell for over $2,500. That's right, $2,530 to be exact, for just one quarter. Imagine finding a coin like that in your change. It's worth thousands of dollars more than its face value. The reason these coins are so valuable is because the error is so rare. Only a small number of these quarters have the drooping leaf, so they're harder to find, and that makes them a hot item for collectors. So, how do you know if you have one of these rare quarters? You need to look carefully at your 2004 Wisconsin state quarter. If you spot the drooping leaf, then you've got something really special. It's a coin that could be worth a huge amount of money. Coins like these have been sold for as high as $2,530, so if you find one, it's definitely worth checking with a professional to get it appraised. These quarters aren't just pocket change anymore, they're worth more than most people make in a month. Now, I want to remind you again that not every 2004 Wisconsin state quarter is going to have this error. Only a small handful of them do, so you have to look carefully. If you find one with the drooping leaf, however, you've got yourself a rare treasure. People who collect coins, known as numismatists, will pay top dollar for these mistakes. So if you find one, don't just toss it back into your change jar. Now let's talk about the 2005 Buffalo nickel. This coin is part of a special series called the Westward Journey Nickel Series. The U.S. Mint made these coins to honor the famous Lewis and Clark expedition. The 2005 Buffalo nickel brings back the design of an American buffalo and a Native American, which was first used on nickels way back in 1913. This design was loved by many, and the Mint decided to bring it back for this series. At first, the 2005 Buffalo nickel looks pretty normal. You can see a buffalo standing on the back and a Native American on the front. But here's the thing, some of these coins have a big mistake. Some of the buffalo designs on the back are incorrect. Specifically, the buffalo has one of its legs missing or sometimes weakly struck. This happens because of a problem with the die, the tool that stamps the design onto the coin. Sometimes, the die doesn't make a perfect imprint, and parts of the coin don't show up clearly. In this case, it was the buffalo's legs. Now, let's get to the exciting part, the value of these error coins. While a regular 2005 Buffalo nickel is worth only 5 cents, the coins with the missing leg error can be worth a lot more. In fact, some of these coins have sold for up to $2,000. Imagine finding a nickel worth $2,000 just by checking your change. That's a big jump from the regular 5 cents, right? The reason these error coins are so valuable is that they're rare. Only a small number of 2005p Buffalo nickels have this mistake. So, collectors will pay top dollar for them. If you find one of these nickels with the missing leg or a strange mark on the buffalo, you might want to hold on to it. Some people have already sold these rare nickels for $1,000 to $2,000. The price depends on how clear the error is. The more obvious the mistake, the more money it can be worth. A perfectly clear error can make the coin even more valuable. It's important to remember that these error coins aren't easy to find. The US Mint makes millions of coins, but only a small number of them have the problem with the buffalo's leg. That's why these coins are so special. Even if you check a lot of 2005p Buffalo nickels, you're not likely to find many with this error. If you happen to get one, though, it could be worth a lot of money. So, next time you're looking through your pocket change, check your 2005p Buffalo nickels. Look closely at the buffalo's legs. If something looks off, like if the buffalo is missing a leg or the design looks weak, you might have found a rare and valuable coin. It's amazing how a small mistake like this can make a coin worth thousands of dollars. So don't just ignore your nickels, they could be worth a lot more than you think. Now, let's talk about the 2021 D quarter crossing the Delaware. This is one of the newest coins in the US Mint's America the Beautiful Quarters program. Each year, the Mint makes a special quarter to celebrate important events or places in US history. The 2021 Crossing the Delaware quarter is part of the program that highlights historical events. This quarter honors the famous moment when George Washington crossed the Delaware River during the American Revolution, in December of 1776. On the front of the coin, you'll see the usual image of George Washington, but what makes this quarter special is the design on the back. The reverse side shows a dramatic scene of Washington's boat crossing the river, with soldiers braving the cold waters in the middle of the night. The design is based on the famous painting Washington Crossing the Delaware, which was created by artist Emanuel Leutze in 1851. This painting shows the courage and determination of Washington and his men as they prepared to fight the British forces. The quarter captures this heroic moment beautifully. But here's where things get interesting. The 2021 D Crossing the Delaware quarter is also special because of an error that happened during the minting process. Some of these coins have a noticeable mistake, and this mistake has made the quarter worth more than just 25 cents. The error is called the double die error, and it happens when the design gets struck on the coin more than once, making some parts of the image appear doubled. Now, let's talk about how this error affects the value. A normal 2021 D Crossing the Delaware quarter is worth just 25 cents. However, the double die error coins can be worth a lot more. In fact, some of these error quarters have been sold for as much as $1,500 or even more. The error makes the coin much rarer, and collectors are always on the lookout for coins like these. The double design can make parts of the quarter look blurry or overlapping, and when that happens, it can increase the coin's value significantly. So, how do you know if you have one of these rare error coins? The double die error isn't hard to spot once you know what to look for. The most obvious place to check is the date and the words around the edge of the coin. If you see that the number, 2021, or any of the letters are doubled or blurred, you could have one of these error coins. The doubling happens when the die gets misaligned during the minting process, and the design gets stamped more than once. Now, remember that these error coins are not super common. Only a small number of 2021 D Crossing the Delaware quarters have the double die error. That's why these coins are valuable to collectors. If you're lucky enough to find one, it could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on the condition of the coin. So, always keep an eye out for these special coins in your change. You never know when you might come across a rare and valuable quarter. If you happen to find one, it's a great idea to have it checked out by a professional or a coin expert to find out just how much it's worth. A coin like this could make you a lot more money than you ever expected, and it's always exciting to find something rare and historic in your pocket. To sum it all up, these rare coins are proof that sometimes, the mistakes or unique features in a coin's design can actually make it more valuable. Whether it's the 2004 P Wisconsin State Quarter with the drooping leaf error, the 2005 P Buffalo nickel with its off-center design, or the 2021 D quarter crossing the Delaware with a die clash, these coins have become some of the most sought-after treasures for collectors. So, next time you're going through your spare change, take a second look. You never know, you might be holding on to a coin that's worth thousands of dollars. Don't forget to like this video if you found it interesting and subscribe to the channel for more cool coin facts. And remember, the world of numismatics is full of surprises. Who knows what hidden gems are out there waiting to be discovered?